Now we go a little Barack Obama, and that goes back to Barack Obama. He's a politician.
Right.
Salim Muakil, the famous journalist, intellectual here in Chicago, he told the people on my show, and it's on YouTube, it's on the computer, you can see it. He said, "People, we respect Barack Obama. We love Barack Obama, but it's a political campaign. That's all it is. And so politics is not going to solve all our problems." Tell the folks at home that.
Politics
Professor Gimbu
is not going to solve most of our problems. The most politics that affects people is at the local level.
That's right.
Local politics affects people mostly. National politics has some impact, but very, very minimal impact in regards to the quality of life of the average person. So for those people, and those black people in particular, who think that after November we ain't going to have to worry about racism no more, you know, those people who think that the great white hope has come to save us, the great black hope has come to save us, and now that a black person is president, all our problems are going to go away, and race is no longer going to be an issue in America. My advice is to lay off that crack. It's bad for your health. I can't.
We got this is a short segment, and you said we have to repeat it again. People say, people like me, you stuck in the 1970s. You talking that race stuff. You're an Afrocentric instructor, right?
Yes,
you talk about Afrocentrism. Oh, that's irrelevant. The Republicans talk about it. The Negroes don't like you. The educated Negroes don't like Brother Gimbu. The Republicans, the conservatives don't like it. But tell them they'll still be after Barack Obama if he becomes president. Because we're taping this in when? July. Still in July. This will air. This will be on the computer tomorrow, whatever. It won't be on public access until September. But we don't. When you may not see it until November. Who knows? But if he wins, things ain't gonna change that much.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Barack Obama. Go ahead, speak on
it. And you know, I mean, for me, it's insulting, I guess, in a lot of ways. First of all, I mean, let's go down to the heart of the matter, all right? Because we're trying to be honest here. The fact that a black person would want to be president of the United States, to me, says a whole lot about how sick and crazy they are. All right, if you understand, I mean, when I used to go talk to give lectures at colleges and so forth and so on, I would always start off with this story about this lady named Sally Sue. They asked the audience, had you heard about what happened to Sally Sue? And how this woman had been kidnapped, she had been raped, she had been tortured, she had been beaten, I mean, she had been dogged out every which way. And after a few years, she wanted to be adopted by the kidnapper's family. And I would always ask the question, did you think Sally Sue was crazy? And everybody would always say, yeah, she crazy, she out of her mind, she done lost her mind. Then I would tell them, well, I ain't talking about Sally Sue. Sally Sue is you. Sally Sue is us, who have been kidnapped, beaten, tortured, abused in every which way, and now all we want to do is be accepted by the family of the people who did commit this crime to us. So the fact that we would even want to represent the chief exponent of white supremacy in the world, to me, says a whole lot about how sick we are. But even if a person does want to accept that, the only way that from a political standpoint, he can have a hope of winning this election is to appeal to enough white people by browbeating black people. Yes. All right?
Yes.
When he goes up in Bishop Brazier's church on Father's Day.
That's right.
And spends his time lambasting black men and talking about how irresponsible we are and so forth and so on. Well, I beg to differ. Let me put it this way. He got 364 days a year to talk about deadbeat sperm donors who don't do nothing but make babies and keep on walking and not take care of their families. Father's Day was the one day of the year that was set aside to honor the fathers who had been fathers and stepped up to the plate. But because he's trying to appeal to white racist mentality by browbeating and low-rating black people, he wants to come in and talk to us about personal responsibility. How would it sound if I were invited to speak at a church on Mother's Day?
Yes.
And the context of my speech was about all those irresponsible mothers who take their child support money and spend it on getting their hair and their nails done instead of taking care of their kids.
That's right.
And all these irresponsible mothers who don't want to do what they're supposed to do, who out there abusing their kids and exposing their kids to 8 different daddies 7 days of the week.
That's right.
And men coming through so forth. How would it sound if that was my Mother's Day address? It's not that those statements are not true about
black women would have been offended.
Exactly.
What did Jesse Jackson say? They would have castrated Barack Obama if he said that about black women.
Exactly.
Like I'm speaking ill of black women, and I'm doing it in a loving manner, because like in Chicago, people tell me there's women's sisters. They will go to the doctor, whoever, Social Security, whatever it is, the agency, to say my child is EMH or kind of retarded, so they can get money.
Right, exactly.
So the child is put down in the EMH classroom, the dummy classroom, the retarded classroom, and that stuff that stunts that child's academic growth, and the child ain't really retarded, so they can get paid.
So they can get money, yeah.
That's the black woman. I'm not saying that's all black women, that's a few black women, but Barack ain't gonna make that speech.
Right, and he said he definitely ain't gonna make that speech on Mother's Day.
Definitely not on Mother's Day. And that was the last time say anybody to really put the black woman in check, because like I said, I got a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
You have a daughter?
Yeah, I got a daughter.
You have a daughter? Okay. My little girl's only 12. Okay? When she's 16, 18, whatever, I said, if you open your legs up to that fool and had a baby by him, I go off on her. So the men have to take responsibility for making the baby, and also the woman has to take responsibility for laying down with that young brother or that old brother to make that baby. You understand that? It cuts both ways.
He got her pregnant.
That's right.
She had nothing to do with it.
You can't chastise the fatherless or the missing in action black men without chastising some of these sisters and their mothers and their grandmothers and the black women in the total context for not going down and helping these young sisters. Say, baby, don't be rushing to have them babies. Stay in college, stay in school, then become a parent.
Right, but my point, tying this back into
go ahead.
Barack and stuff,
I got him
was the fact that when he goes before Bishop Brazier, when he goes in front of NAACP, when he goes in front of black audiences, his conversation is confined to personal responsibility. When he goes to Jews, when I looked at his speech the day after he won the Democratic nomination to APEC, he wasn't talking to Jews about no personal responsibility.
No.
What he was doing was convincing them that if he becomes president, he's going to continue the policies that the United States has had vis-a-vis Israel. He's going to continue to support the oppression of the Palestinians and the oppression of Hezbollah and the oppression and fighting against the Iranians and Syrians or whoever else who the Jews have defined as the enemy. When he talks to Mexicans, he talks about issues that are of concern to Mexicans. When he goes to every other ethnic group, he talks about issues that are important to them. When it comes to black people, he doesn't talk to us about the massive unemployment rate. He doesn't talk to us about these draconian laws where you get you got to get caught with $50,000 worth of powder cocaine to get the same time as $50 worth of crack cocaine.
That's right.
He doesn't address any of those kind of laws. He doesn't address
any urban issues. Urban issues.
He doesn't address anything that is of concern to black people. In other words, his attitude seems to be that he doesn't have to work for our votes. We're supposed to vote for him because he's black.
Right.
But he can't speak to issues that are of concern to us, well, because we're black.
And if he did speak to our issues,
then he's
a lot of white folks who ain't gonna like Barack Obama.
And he'll alienate himself for white people. So in other words, he has to cater to them in order to get their votes, and in order to get their votes, he has to ignore us.